Hey guys, Simon here with an interesting lore update for Wizards' upcoming set, Shadows Over Innistrad. Now, if you watched my previous videos, you know a couple things about SOI, most of which just being some personal speculations of mine along with my feelings on the set's leaked cards. However, in this video, I want to take the whole leaking situation and use it for a different purpose. Rather than spoiling the actual cards too early, I'm going to be taking a look at some potential story implications found from these early spoilers. Now remember, these are merely clues from which we can further our speculation of SOI's storyline, little hints if you would. So I don't want to consider this an out-and-out lore spoiler, but still, if you want to keep everything about the story a surprise until it's fully out, I'm gonna give all you a nice spoiler warning here. Also, I'm pretty vocal about my disdain for early leaks, so don't expect this video to be like a review or discussion about those cards. I want to keep spoiler season as exciting as possible while still showing off the flavor of this upcoming set. So any cards used here will be intentionally blurred out, obscuring sections not relevant to the flavor. So with all the disclaimers out of the way, let's get started. As of today, I believe there have been 5 leaked cards with ties to some significant potential plot developments in Shadows Over Innistrad. Let's start with Stoic Builder. Remember, I'm obscuring most of the card in order to protect the purity of spoiler season. Now, other than looking strikingly similar to my brother, what can this simple card tell us about SOI's story? Well, it's all in the flavor text, which reads, "Some have returned to Hollowhenge, the ruins of Averbrook, to restore the lost capital of Kessig." In the original Innistrad block, Kessig was a territory on the border of a great forest, a buffer between civilization and the ferocious wilds. The capital of this province was Averbrook, a human stronghold. They lived there for many years, meeking out survival against Geist and werewolf attacks. Yet, on one fateful day, a strange pack of magic-wielding werewolves assaulted the town and cast some type of powerful blood spell. As a result, Averbrook was utterly destroyed, and its citizens were all transformed into the Howling Beasts. From that day since, the ruins were renamed to Hollowhenge. The flavor text seems to suggest that humans are again returning to this desolate ruin, hoping to rebuild the once great Averbrook. Since this card is simply a human and not a transforming werewolf, we're left to speculate the fate of the beasts who brought this city to heel. Many could have been granted Avacyn's gift, taking the form of the Wolfir, fierce protectors of humanity. Or they could have been driven off by another malicious force. It's still one of those many secrets of SOI. Next we have Fiery Temper. As flavor text can give us context clues to the story, so can a card's art. And that's exactly the case we have here for Fiery Temper. The flavor text is short and comes without credit, reading, "Let the flames ignore the sinless." But when it's paired with the image, we can make some great assumptions. We see a winged figure holding a sword while spreading fire and death in its wake. When you first look at it, some may assume it's a demon doing its thing, but it's actually most likely an angel. One reason I think it's an angel is because of its figure. Demons in MTG don't typically look so human, and they rarely carry any type of weapon. The wings are also long and feathered, suggesting this thing spreading flames is an angel, not a demon. This is significant because if this angel happens to be Avacyn, well, then she's kinda lost her cool now, hasn't she? If her flames ignore the sinless, then this card's art depicts her judgment sparing no one. Interesting to think about. Next is Pieces of the Puzzle. This card depicts Jace Belleron studying over an object, accompanied by flavor text which reads, "The clues have begun to reveal a truth I hesitate to accept." Like on Zendikar, Jace is known as the person who can solve any puzzle, and it seems he again takes on this role in Shadows Over Innistrad. Now, it's not clear exactly what he's studying here, but we can see that he's by the sea. The Sea of Innistrad is always connected with the province of Nephalia, a coastal region. This area is also famous for a certain moonstone tower, run by an astromancer named Genric. It was at this place that the planeswalker Tamiyo spent much of her time observing and studying the force Innistrad's moon exerted on the creatures of the plane. It's still unclear, but Jace is probably following in the research of Tamiyo. That claim is further cemented by our next flavorful card, Pour Over the Pages. Here we again see Jace pulling over some notes, trying to wrap his mind around what he's learning. quoted as saying, "I'm certain that the fate of Markov Manor is connected to these cryptoliths. This Tamio was onto something." So now we have Jace directly referring to Tamio by name. He's clearly following her research, but this card begs a few questions. Where is Tamio now? What did she discover about the plane's moon? What happened to Markov Manor, and what exactly is a cryptolith? Well, in our final card for this video, at least one of those questions are answered. Structural Destruction, probably the most flavorful and loreful, is that a word? Well, card to be leaked. The flavor text reads, "As Zendikar has bled, so will Innistrad. As I have wept, so will Soren, as spoken by Nahiri." Right off the bat, we're hit by the big news. Nahiri's alive and on Innistrad. Referring back to pour over the pages, I believe this shows the fate of Markov Manor. It's being obliterated, and the culprit is a mage with snow-white hair. Sound like anyone we know? Yeah, I believe that's Nahiri just going to town on Soren Markov's castle. But why would Nahiri do this? Didn't they used to be friends, or at least friendly towards one another? In the flavor text, we find that Nahiri's mad about her home plane Zendikar, and how Soren treated it. As her world has bled, so will Soren's. As she has wept, so will he. It's possible that Nahiri's mad because Soren didn't show up to help reseal the Eldrazi after their first near escape. Both he and Ugin swore to return should the prison ever fail, but neither did, leaving Nahiri to solve the issue on her own. Maybe Nahiri discovered Ugin was dead in the previous timeline on Tarkir, and decided to meet with Soren at his home instead to teach the vampire a lesson. It's very plausible, but I actually believe Nahiri is mad at Soren for a completely different reason. I think the Lithomancer has it in for Soren because he introduced vampirism to Zendikar. During her long watch over the Eldrazi prison on Zendikar, Nahiri went through bouts of basically hibernation. She missed that Soren had revisited her world and had to feed, creating a line of vampires on the world. When she discovered them, she wasn't very pleased. After fixing the Eldrazi seal, she went to find Soren. There's still plenty of questions though, like where's Soren Markov now? How will he react to his home being blown up? What's the true secret behind he and Nahiri's relationship? And what's connecting everything? It's what Jace is vigorously working on throughout the entire set. What connects Innistrad's moon, Tamio, Soren, Nahiri, the Hell Vault, and the angel Avacyn? It's probably the greatest mystery of SOI, and we're still a ways off from uncovering it. And that's my question to you guys. What are your own theories to what connects all these things in Shadows over Innistrad? Let me know in the comments below. In any case guys, that's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, consider giving a like and subbing to the channel. It goes a long way in supporting future content. You can also support the channel by becoming a patron and following me on other social media outlets. Find links to those in the description below. As always guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.